From somewhere deep in the Hall of Silence, the dreamer spoke in words that curled their signatures round the crystalline columns, reaching deep into the mists of the midnight sky, furling and unfurling their drifting meanings as the delicate breeze wrapped them in its carpet of swirling mercy. All around the frozen statues warmed their brittle hands in the diffuse moonlight that had pierced the shattered roof of meaningful definition, and so began the endless quest to discover a path that could lead through the silvery confusion and into the fertile forests of their imagination, its mosses saturated with the tears of the jewelled birds, their feathers weighed down with the sorrows of a life forgotten. Intermingled with the damp powder scent of the bold ferns that laboured their way up the naked hillside, cobwebs waved their lacy flags to catch any drops of starlight that wandered their way lost in fantasies of hope and joy, of wooden vessels plying their way along distant shorelines with their cargoes of gilded secrets and stolen memories, flying through the shimmering reflections of dark celestial events from deep within the past. The anxious rise and fall of the black waves, their brilliant crests casting intricate patterns into the iodine air, carried the news of tomorrow's winds to the instruments of artifice that lay scattered on the long lawns leading up from the drifting dunes, where the gathering insects prepared their short lives for the coming of the starlight, legs whispering whirring stories of visions with many facets, and of the chemicals that drifted in the careful wind. Nearby, much fissured boulders wrote a geology in the lines that intersected all across their abandoned surfaces, exposed, cold, yet concealing a wealth of primordial warmth locked within their tight electronic bonds. Caves threaded twisting tubes through the heavy ground, pondering the gravitational gradients and their darker destinies, trickling liquids of invisible contentment through the enigma of the 1,000-year night. It was in that rare place that they drank, ears quivering with the strange songs braiding their way through the elaborate air, unknowable languages that penetrated the hearts of all who could see the nameless colours that sunken eyes could never conceal, and the markings on the wall that gave way to scintillating cities and tangled nocturnal gardens, a playground for the defiant and a source of turbulent peace for those who are lost. But within the details were further details, and when the time came to advance along the perilous path of hidden truths, a new knowledge rose, smoking and crackling, to challenge the certainties of the curious realizations of those who know, for enlightenment is the darkest art. Moving on through the hours, the river of boundless space wound its way towards the yawning mouth of the day, sometimes laughing, sometimes slapping its sides, bearing many weird adventures and cruel comprehensions ever onwards, its long tongue testing the dangers of uncertainties abandoned, its poison sacred. All around, the air began to vibrate with anticipation, sparkling dew extending into pale frozen needles that pierced the profound hush that had fallen across the curvature. Antennae locked, all mirth drained away as they awaited the first glow of the creation of the next cycle of striving, a moment of peace before the stillness of the forest resumed its quiet industry, its fungal dreams calculating the viral shifts, and then the vast movements of tiny threads of water, slow fountains reaching for the sky. Traceries of vapour drifted all around, carving their way through the nitrogen fields, enveloping microscopic populations before they could protest. Gradually, the mighty rotation poured its brilliant blood over the marching hills,